Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. A number of commuters continue to complain about the birthing pains of MMDA's EDSA busway. To tell us more, we have Greg Gregorio joining us live from Quezon City on this morning. Greg, what are the commuters' sentiments on this new bus scheme?
Sean, 1 week since the start of the interim implementation of the EDSA busway, some commuters are still confused. The new scheme has placed bus stops at the median lane. We saw some commuters at the Farmers bus stop this morning waiting for a bus ride. This used to be a busy stop for commuters going to the northern and southern tip of the metro. However, this is no longer utilized for the interim implementation of the busway. Many of these commuters are the ones affected by the MRT3's 5-day suspension of operations. They say MMDA should put signs on bus stations to notify commuters of the new setup. MMDA traffic constables, meanwhile, informed commuters that the nearest available bus stop is at the main avenue, which is around a kilometer away from Cubao. Sean, we are here at the main avenue bus stop and we are seeing other commuters boarding and alighting buses. However, those we saw earlier said this was quite far for a walk. Thus, some of them are were forced to take taxis instead. Sean?
All right, Greg, a quick question. Are these commuters among those lining up for the augmented bus units? Of course, we know the MRT has been closed since the other day.
Sean, those who we have talked to earlier are not the ones who are queuing for a bus augmentation system. Maybe it's also important to highlight that while there is an MRT station in Cubao, there is no bus stop for the bus augmentation there because after passing Quezon Avenue, buses will then shift to the median lane that is located at the leftmost part of the road until they reach Guadalupe bus stop. Thus, the Cubao station that is located at curbside will not be serviced by these buses. Sean?
All right, very clear, Greg. That is kind of confusing. Now, how many more bus stops will the MMDA be adding onto the current ones? And how many are there to begin with?
Sean, at the moment, there are 20 buses from Monumento to PITX, 11 of which are located from North Avenue to Taft Avenue. There are other stations that are still under construction, like the Q-Mart bus stop, or there are other bus stops rather that are still in construction, like the Q-Mart bus stop that we've checked earlier. According to MMDA Chairman Danny Lim during the press conference before the interim implementation, there are around 16 buses along EDSA. We are yet to get an information of about how many buses are there still to be added in this list. Sean?
All right, Greg, you have been covering the transportation woes of our fellow city dwellers for the past couple of weeks. As much as the number of buses are growing and they are adding, I think bottom line is, are there enough bus units to actually accommodate all the passengers, all the commuters? Have you noticed lines getting shorter?
Sean, according to authorities, there are two sets of buses plying through EDSA. These are the buses for the MRT bus augmentation system. There are 90 units for that route, and there are also buses plying the Monumento PITX route. Both of them are flying EDSA. In totality, there are more than 200 buses that are flying through EDSA. But when we speak about lines, there are still long lines because from what we've been observing, long lines are sometimes due to the implementation of health protocols. For example, at the North Avenue bus stop for the bus augmentation system. Lines are long there because before each passenger board the buses, they would have to pass the thermal scanning. Then they will have to be sanitized before entering the bus stop. And also, buses are not carrying at their full capacity. They are still at 50%. Thus, lines are still at long line. There are still long line, rather. Sean?
All right, still gotta wake up a little bit earlier and queue up a little bit earlier. Thank you for all that information. Greg Gregorio joining us live from Quezon City this morning. And here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. The Philippines has breached the 50,000 mark in COVID-19 cases. The Health Department announced Wednesday night that active cases have reached 36,457. ACT-CIS party list representative Eric Yap claims that he rejected a 200 million peso offer from a supposed representative of ABS-CBN. The money is supposedly in exchange for his vote favoring the franchise renewal of the embattled network. However, the Solon adds that he could not confirm whether or not that person is really affiliated with the network. Pope Francis appoints Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle to the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue. In December, the Vatican named the former Manila Archbishop as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.